Elite Savage, and we got
Joe from Elite Savage.
We got two of the captains here today, getting ready to show you guys what we think are the 5 best meta decks of today's meta. All right, guys. So before we actually get started with the top 5 best decks of the meta, we're gonna go ahead and talk about what we think are the best 3 rogue decks. My favorite deck, his favorite deck, and then one that we both think that is really good, even though we don't like it. So let's go ahead and start off with the one that we both agree on, but we don't like, which is Altergeist.
Guys, yes. We both don't like this deck, but the deck is really good. The traps are just amazing because you got Solemn Judgment at 3. And it's just a really good deck, and it's really grindy.
The ability to just play so much back row helps it so much. It's super flexible. It has the ability to play so much, as in like your extra deck as well, where you can like extravagance and whatnot. It's a really good deck. Now, for my favorite deck of the meta, rogue deck of the meta, I think that Mega Knight Invoked, it's a really good deck. I think that Mega Knight Invoked has the possibility to go toe-to-toe, head-to-head with Dogmatica Invoked, with Infernables, with Eldritch, you know, and the reason why I think that is because I pilot the deck and I've been playing it for a while, and I actually play against a lot of these decks every day. And I actually think I do fairly well. Of course, we don't always win. You can't always win it, but it is one of the best rogue decks in this meta. What about you?
I think Salix is a really good rogue deck. I think it's very versatile, and then you can just play a lot of hand traps, or you can just play it to where you're liking it. Unless they hit the deck's always going to be consistent when it comes to you just have Gazelle. Gazelle just makes everything work. So I give it out to the Southern Great players because that's.
Once you get that little loop going where you start recycling your cards and using them again next turn, and then just going back and forth, it's actually kind of like a done deal. I think the deck is really good. He piloted it for a long time, so I agree with him.
It's a very adaptable deck. You know, it transitions a lot from playing 2 rages, 2 wars to 1 rage, 1 war, and 3.
And then whenever they're playing the trap tricks and stuff.
Yeah, you can just definitely do a lot with that deck. So that's our 2 choices for the rogue options.
Yes, sir. So now let's go ahead and continue with the top 5 best decks of the meta. And for number 5, we agreed on, what was it?
Numeron.
God.
I'll let Ed speak about Numeron.
Okay, so in Numeron itself, we're not saying that it's a specific build of a Numeron deck. I think that Numeron is such an easy engine to splash into a lot of decks that it just makes a lot of decks that are good even better, which is crazy to say because, you know, Guru Control is a really good deck, and it just becomes even better when you have Guru Numeron, right? One of the decks that I was piloting for a good 2-3 weeks was Numeron Invoked, which actually gave me a lot of fun this Monday. I had a couple of games that we played against our buddies at DNA. Yes, sir. You know, DNA lets us go in there and have some free play and have some fun. And you know, I was clapping with that deck. It was a lot of fun. The versatility with that is just,
you can mix it up with small engine. I'm really going to try to mix it up with True Draco. That's my personal preference.
It's the best deck. True Draco is number 1.
We'll see about it.
But yeah, Numeron, number 5.
So let's go into our number 4 option, which
I'll let you talk about that.
It's Infernoble Knights. I'm going to repeat that. Infernoble Knights.
Yeah.
That's our 4th best deck right now. It's a combo deck. It says it's there.
Super combo.
And it just pops off. The thing I like about it is it's just the option to have Dolphin look at your opponent's hand, and then you can drop a card, and then you can look at their hand and then know
what they're playing.
Yeah, know what they're playing. So you're gonna like tutor
have
your own
insight.
Yeah, you're gonna have your board mirrored to what they're playing, so you can just negate and try to win the game.
Yeah.
Also, you get to pop cards every turn, which is fine. And it's just so much broken. Like there's a lot of broken stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh right now that you can use in Infernoble. So it's just easy to use, and even when stuff gets hit or banned, that deck is still going to be a very good option because it just has so much going for it. It's very high ceiling. Any deck that has 7 Rotas, it's nasty to me. So
one of the reasons why I agree with him so strongly on this deck being on top of one of the first 5 is that because of Dolphin and Smoke Bomb, you're gonna have your opponent literally start off with 4 cards, because if you go first and they have 5 cards, you're ripping away 2 cards. They have 3. They're gonna draw a 4th. That's it. Like, you know.
Yeah, and also if you're playing triple tactical talents, I call it 3 Ts. You know, they activate something. You wanted to force. You want them to hand trap you, because if they hand trap you, TTT, look at their hand, throw a card out their hand, and then you're just gonna neg another card out their hand at the end phase. So it's definitely a really good deck.
Yes,
so
sir.
let's go on to choice number 3.
What do we got for number 3?
Number 3 choice is going to be Emancipator / Block Dragon.
Yeah, so we were actually discussing like this whole like Emancipator and Megalith thing. I think Megalith personally is more rogue, and it's a really good rogue deck, but Emancipator itself with Block Dragon is still meta. It's so good, it's so crazy. I recently had a couple of matches against you know, a couple of members from another team where we got together and we had a Yu-Gi-Oh day, and one of the guys was piloting Emancipators, and I'm telling you, it's still a strong deck. Just people have hopped off of it, but it's still strong.
Yeah, it's a great deck, and anytime you can plus yourself 3 cards with Block Dragon, and then plus, let's say you end up with the Link 2, you can Link climb into an Access Code Talker and then pop the rest of their field with Block Dragon.
And that's not all.
Yeah, and I've seen somebody go into a Block Dragon special summon 5 times in one turn. If you can do that, card's busted. You gotta play it.
You got Block Dragon plus. You can bring out Savage, and I myself play Crystal Wing as well. So sometimes I have Crystal Wing and Savage, and not just that, but you can Union Carrier and lock your opponent out of their extra deck. Like, how dumb is that? Like, it's crazy, man.
It's a really good deck. Yeah.
For number 2 and number 1, we don't technically agree 100%.
Definitely.
His number 1 is my number 2, and my number 2 is his number 1. Yes. So go ahead and tell me which one's your number 2.
Oh man, I'm going with my number 2 is going to be Eldritch Synchron. That's what I think is number 2.
And then number 1?
Dramatica.
Dogmatica. So
Dogmatica. We're gonna have to get this situated.
Eldritch 2, Dogmatica 1. For me, Dogmatica 2, Eldritch 1.
Sorry, we're talking about the OCG sometimes, so we kind of get the names confused.
I think that Eldritch to me is just the most dumb deck that we have in today's current meta. It's a really, really powerful deck.
What's that trap card that special summons gold one?
Scarlet.
Yeah, Scarlet's broken.
Scarlet is busted. A Conquistador is really good. It gets you out of a lot of problems. If your opponent has Mystic Mind, you can just Conquistador and pop Mystic Mind. It's a card that activates as a trap card, and it still destroys.
What does Mystic Mind do?
Mystic Mind says that you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's the best card in the game. Guys, if you guys don't play Mystic Mind in any of your decks, you guys aren't playing Yu-Gi-Oh right.
Team Elisa Beach.
It's Mystic Ed for the ones that know this.
Definitely.
But Dogmatica, tell me why you think Dogmatica is number 1 for you, man.
It's a very good deck. It's an easy deck for somebody to understand. It's not like, let me play a combo deck heavy and just go off. It's one of those decks that you sit there and
it's a helmet deck. Let's just say that.
It's kind of like a helmet deck, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just want to have a good match. Like, I don't want to like say inboard, you're inboard, who wins. Sometimes Dogmatica just wants you to have that grind game, which I respect.
I do respect grind games a lot. I think that Dogmatica has some of the best grind matches that I've had recently.
And it's bringing back old cards that people thought, like, when was the last time somebody used that Omega or the Ghost Girl, that Winter Cherries? When was the last time somebody used Winter Cherries?
Yeah, so a lot of people who don't know about this, one of the things that we do, as in Alejandro and I who play Dogmaticas, we've been teching in Winter Cherries. I think Winter Cherries is really good because you can go off against your opponent and just target one of their extra deck monsters. So you look at their extra deck, have all that good fun, right? In a mirror match, you hit the Mechaba, and against whoever's playing what deck, if you have that card in your extra deck, you're gonna hit it. Who else is playing besides Cyber Dragon's Nova, right?
Yes.
You know, it's just, I think that it's great for the Yu-Gi-Oh community to have a lot of old cards or cards that haven't been played for a while being played again.
Like Entity or...
Yeah, Entis.
Yeah,
it hasn't been played in a long time. I literally picked up 3, maybe 4 or 5 months ago for 50 cents, and they're up to $5 now. That's crazy.
And the thing I like about the deck too is you get new players in the game that technically, they don't know how to play certain decks or certain styles because they just haven't been around for years. So learning how to pick up a deck and learning how to play it, and it's just kind of like, hey, they're involved now. It's fun. So I definitely give that deck a lot of props. I'm glad it's like high up on the list. So
Yeah.
respect.
Yes, sir. So now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was that we wanted to say that there is upcoming decks that are going to be getting played more, and I have one. He has one as well.
Actually, it's the same deck because me and Ed go back a long time, and when I met this dude, he played one deck.
I played one deck at locals for a while.
But let me just say it really quick so we get this on video. His deck lost to my hero deck, by the way. But other than that, he'd be clapping people all the time.
Yeah.
Dark Law's a thing.
Dark Law is a thing, guys. It's a card.
But let's go into your pick.
My pick is Dark Magician. I think that Dark Magician has 100% the ability and the potential to be one of the best decks coming up in the next format meta, whatever happens after, if we do get a balance or not. They have 3 cards coming out, which are going to make the deck a lot faster. And then we also have Dragoons, which is going to be such a strong boss monster. Of course, Dragoons is going to be able to be splashed everywhere.
Yes.
But of course, it is at the core a Dark Magician monster, which benefits us a lot.
You got Servant. Like Servant's at 3. You got Circle.
Servant, Circle, Navigation.
Navigation's busted. It says negate.
We have the new Fusion's Quick Spell card.
So that deck is just. We're gonna do a video. Believe me, we're gonna have a Dark Magician video. And we're gonna be clapping people with Dark Magicians on this channel. We're gonna.
I'm gonna be doing that soon, guys. I'm looking forward to that very much. So you said your deck was the same one as mine?
I think it's the same one. Yeah, definitely. The new Dragoon is just amazing, and I can't wait to see people play Dark Magicians again. This is going to be interesting.
Super excited. I think about 2 or 3 of us on our team, myself and Alex included, we both have Dark Magicians. So I think that it's going to be super fun to be able to play this again in a more competitive, scene. Because I did play Dark Magicians very competitively.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, and I was definitely clapping with that, and now it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. If you could talk multiple times with the Dark Magician deck, you get some
Exactly.
pops, and that's Ed for you.
Yes,
Mystic
sir.
Ed for you.
Yes, sir. But guys, this was our video of our top 5 meta decks, including 3 rogue decks and 1 upcoming deck. Hope you guys enjoyed. This was Ed and
Joe.
from Elites of Each. Thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Gang,
See
gang.
you guys in the next one.
Shut the fuck up! Good evening, y'all. This is Joe.
Alrighty?
This is Ed.
Alrighty? I don't want to start. God.
Woo!